This is Chad with your Graphic Design 3500 class. This is an introduction to the first three assignments. So the first assignment is assignment 0, and this is just to let you know and talk about what a process book is. A lot of times when graphic designers apply for a job, it's asked or they know to include a process book in their portfolio. And a process book is a book that shows the steps that they've taken to get to the final design. It's kind of easy to rip off someone's design. So if an employer can see the thought process you took to go from point A to point B, it's very valuable, and it shows authenticity of a project. And that's what this process book is about. So that's what I'm asking you to do for every project. Here's what it is. And I'm actually not grading the process book until the final grade, and that's going to be 15% of your total grade. But I'm going to highly suggest that you keep up on it with every project. So as you do these projects, kind of keep them organized. Either I work mostly in a sketchbook, and then I go online for my thoughts. So I would be taking pictures or scanning my sketchbook, putting that into my process book layout, and then taking screenshots or saving PDFs of my process book and adding those to my process book. I'm going to see if I can find a process book to, let's see, I think I may have one here. Oh, it's not a very good one. Okay, well, that might be okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so this, oh boy, I can hardly see it. This tells about what the project is, okay? An introduction to it. Here's more descriptive, a description of what's going on, maybe some research into slogans and messages, or maybe a brainstorm of those. And this is an introduction to part 3. It doesn't have to be this detailed. There's a brainstorm. Introduction to part 4. Here's some thumbnails of the brainstorm. And this is part 5, which is like the execution of an ad or a message somehow. A few of them. And these are just, you know, first drafts type thing. And then they go into another part. So this is showing from the assignment and kind of taking the reader step by step through an assignment. Let me see if I have another one here. Yeah, so here's an introduction. Her own comments or commentary on, like, oh, I'm really intimidated by the assignment, or I'm really excited, or I've been doing logos for years and this will be easy peasy. Here's she's picked a bunch of nouns, matched them up with service businesses, and she wants to do a gorilla children's party or a whale washing. A whale and is the noun, and the car washing is the business. So here's some sketches of the gorillas, sketches of the whales and the car wash. More commentary. She picked a sketch and now she's bringing it into Illustrator. Same thing here, picked a sketch, bring it into Illustrator. And then her final logos. Okay, and then some commentary, you know, critique. So anyway, that's essentially what a process book is, and you're going to be creating one for each assignment. Okay, and this walks you. Here's your thought process: visualized, research or notes, thumbnail sketches, preliminary designs and revisions, color considerations, and your final design. So please keep up on this. Okay, assignment 1, letters as forms. Using multiple letter forms, I want you to create a square composition that expresses a mood or a thought or an action. Please identify prior to doing the assignment which mood, thought, or action you're going to be striving to express. So if you're doing like, I don't know, suction. Now suction's off the table, but let's say you're doing suction. So you can't use it since I've just brought it up. But there shouldn't be a single letter or even a word really that stands out. So you're not going to say the word suction and then show it being sucked down. Let me show you what I'm talking about here, and I have some student examples here in just a minute, but we're going to look at the visual space, light and darks, form and counterform. They should be expressing the mood. I want you to thumbnail 10 compositions. It's a square format. Execute your design. That means do it in probably Illustrator, which is a better program for resizing than Photoshop. Photoshop doesn't let resizing happen very much at all. And then some parts for your process book. Let me show you some examples. Letter forms. So this might be like vortex or wave or something like that. Okay. No clue what this is, but when I squint at it, I'm seeing just an abstract kind of lights and darks. Looks like a, I don't know what. It's another one. Letter forms using lights and darks. We're just using black and white in this, by the way. No grays, no colors. Okay, hopefully this is helping. It's a composition. You're using letters to create the composition. Okay, I don't want to. Oh, assignment 2. Great. Let's go talk about assignment 2. Assignment. Oh, so this is due it's assigned on Monday. It's due on Friday. Okay. Please, if this is a different semester, check the project sheet so you can see exactly what date yours is due. Okay, this might be used from previous semesters. All right, assignment 2, and this is called form of a letter. And so what this one is, we're looking at the letter form because graphic design really uses type and letters as its primary way of expressing. So here's what I want you to do. Remove as much of the letter form or crop as much of the letter out as possible while leaving just enough to allow its identification. Okay, so this kind of forces you to go, well, what really is unique about this letter that I'm choosing? And what makes it different than others? Is it the dot on top? Well, let's see. We have a J, we have an I. What other letters have a dot on top of them? We could move to different languages, so just showing a dot on a letter is not enough because it's not identifiable, right? So again, it's just black and white, form and counterform, and the letter can be altered as long as its integrity remains intact. I would suggest just sticking with the letter. I mean, I think you can alter it slightly, but I wouldn't much because the letter it's created by master type designers. So so it says in class you'll be assigned a letter. I would suggest go ahead and pick a letter. Could be uppercase or lowercase. And select a typeface. Okay, don't be goofy with it. Just keep it really basic, sans serif or serif. And explore the letter in different typefaces, very basic typefaces, but they differ greatly. The final composition, you're not going to be printing this, by the way. The final dimensions are 18 by 18 square. You know, this is not in gouache. It's going to be in Illustrator. okay, or Photoshop. If you're going to do 18 and 18 in Photoshop, make sure it's about 250 pixels per inch. If you're doing it in Illustrator, we don't have to worry about resolution. And remember, this is a good point, the form of the letter is just as important as the space around it, so pay attention to both the positive and negative. Okay, so check your updated project sheet. If there are any changes, you'll see that. Let me show you some examples. Here's assignment 2, and this is the what did I call this? What's the title? Form of a letter. Okay. So, capital letter R. The way I did it, the way I usually do it in class is we show the letter and people have to shout out or identify it right away. The better the identity, the better that it's working, but also it needs to have a great pleasing shape. I love the negative and positive forms going on here. Really nice. Q, really clever. Just the inside of it. But we may have even gone a little closer up, right? If we cut that in half and just show a circle with that, it might work. Looks like a letter S to me. And this is a tricky one because that line really stands out, but I think this is a Y. You see where we're going with this, right? Really powerful positive and negative shapes, but express just enough of a letter to make it identifiable as that particular letter. Okay, all right, so that's it. That's assignment 0, 1, and 2. Again, check the schedule on your actual project sheet in your in Blackboard or in Canvas for when the assignments due.